With Windows 11, Microsoft has taken a risk by changing up its operating system. Though many of the changes amount to not much more than window dressing, Windows 11 is a response to competition from Apple and Google, both of which have been nibbling at the edges of the market-leading desktop operating system with slick new designs. Despite its drastically updated look intended to respond to the competition, Windows 11 functions much as Windows 10 does, with more polish and a few new features and conveniences. Coming after 6 years of ho-hum upgrades, this major overhaul to the look and feel of the world's most popular desktop operating system is welcome news. Windows fans have something to get excited about. Sure, Windows 11 looks nicer with rounded corners for all windows, the taskbar icons in the middle, simpler icons, and more elegant settings dialogs. But it doesn't feel totally alien or require a whole new process the way Windows 8 did. The new interface is attractive, but if you prefer the more familiar Windows 10 style look, you might just want to stick with Windows 10. What are the requirements and how do you get Windows 11? Windows 11 is available for free for Windows 10 systems on a rolling basis, based on validated hardware configurations. At this point, the rollout is complete, and the new OS is an option for all PC that meet the requirements. Windows as a whole is estimated to have 76% of OS desktop market share, over 1.4 billion devices in all, and of those Windows users, between about 15% to 23% of them are running Windows 11, depending on which source you consult. A new look and more for Windows. Most of the work on Windows 11 went toward redesigning the interface rather than building wholly new features. So as I mentioned above, the OS is more familiar than you may expect. It borrows ideas from Chrome OS, though you can still place app icons on the desktop background, which Google's lightweight desktop OS doesn't allow. Windowing and multitasking remain far more advanced in Windows 2. The interface gets rounded corners, like those in Mac OS for all Windows, which is not a significant change but does give the OS a smoother look. Microsoft's Fluent design system, and that system's new mica material, play a role in the redesign. This semi-transparent look is appearing in more and more included apps and utilities. Much of the new design brings a welcome new slightness and consistency to the Windows interface. Taskbar, Start menu, and File Explorer. For decades, the Windows Start button has lived in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. So, small detail though it may be, getting used to it being at the left edge of centered icons could be one of the bigger adjustments you need to make. The issue for me is that the Start menu has heretofore always been in the exact same place. Now, if you run more programs, it moves a bit more to the left. Not having to think at all about the Start button's position was a plus in Windows versions going back more than 20 years. Happily, a taskbar alignment option in settings lets you move the Start button back to its rightful position in the left corner. The Start menu's new mini tiles are still good for touch input, but you lose Info Live tiles offer, annoying as those could sometimes be. Another quibble I have with the new Start menu is it's harder to get to the All Apps view than in Windows 10. With that version of Windows, you can see all installed apps as soon as you open the Start menu. They are in a list on the left while tiles for your pinned apps are on the right. The 22.2 version update adds the ability to group pinned app icons into folders and to change the portion of pinned vs. recommended icons that appear in the Start menu. Widgets in Windows 11. Windows 11 has a widget panel, which shows you tiles for news, weather, stock quotes, sports scores, and more. It's not entirely new since the News and Interests taskbar pop-up that arrived in Windows 10 recently is exceedingly similar, and a recent update made it even more similar, adding a weather indicator to the taskbar. In addition to Microsoft-produced first-party tiles in the widgets panel, third-party developers will be able to offer content through Windows 11's widgets later in 2022. Touchscreen users can easily swipe in from the left to open them, and you can full screen the widget panel if you want a bigger view. Settings. One of the more irksome things about Windows 10 is inconsistent settings windows and dialogs. Sometimes you uninstall a program in the new settings app, sometimes in the antiquated control panel. That inconsistency goes away in Windows 11 almost entirely. For some detailed controls, such as sound devices, you still see the content in the old style, though the window uses the new design. Updated Task Manager. Also getting the new design treatment with the 22.2 update is Task Manager, that most useful of utilities. It lets you shut down misbehaving programs and see which are hogging system resources like the CPU, disk, and network connection. A new efficiency mode option lets you reduce an app's drain on the system. Teams Chat integration. Microsoft's Teams Chat and video conferencing app is prominently in the center of the taskbar by default. This move makes sense in some ways. With the increasing importance of virtual meetings, maybe Microsoft can grab some of the video conferencing market. Teams grew phenomenally during the COVID-19 pandemic, from 20 million to 145 million active users. but it remains unclear as to if it can become as ubiquitous as Microsoft would like. Adding a Skype Meet Now button to Windows 10's notification area didn't have that effect. Skype remains an excellent, highly capable communication tool, nevertheless. But maybe once Windows 11 becomes the dominant version, the operating system's ubiquity will accelerate Teams chat's adoption. Updated stock apps. In addition to apps you can get in the store, you also get standard apps like an updated Photos app, which will soon let you easily sync iCloud photos, the new media player, voice recorder, 2-pane apps, mail, calendar, and so on. We can hope for the last two mentioned to be greatly improved as Windows 11 development progresses. In the initial release, we still have the existing apps, albeit with rounded corners, but new versions will be based on the excellent progressive web app versions of Outlook.com. Microsoft has already started including the updated Paint app, though I've started to enjoy the modern Paint 3D, as well as new versions of Notepad, with a dark mode and calculator. A new dedicated template-based video editing app called Clipchamp comes with the Windows 11 22.2 update. Beyond accessibility, in a follow-up blog post to the one announcing the new OS, Microsoft detailed new accessibility features in Windows 11 to join existing ones like Narrator, Magnifier, Closed Captions, and Windows Speech Recognition, along with support for third-party assistive hardware and software. For example, Windows 11 has new contrast themes, redesigned closed caption themes, and AI-powered voice typing. The OS also adds API for programming assistive apps, and even the Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL now has accessibility options. We are going to end this video right away. If you have any query or information to share, please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.